So, how did I create that scene? I created this scene using a specific uh, environment, which is basically a terrain. I found it from yeah, found it in Epic Games, and this was. I mean, I have like sort of all sort of Megascan assets in my Epic Games, so I used one of it. The so uh, the template which I used was basically this one. This is basically a ruined cave thing, and yeah, so this is what I use. So all of these assets, it's basically 3D scanned assets, and yeah, let's get to the part. Uh, here you go. So first, what I did was I opened the Unreal Engine as usual. So Unreal Engine would take like a bit some time. So yeah, let's wait for some time till it loads. Yeah. So this is the pre-made thing I used. Uh, I mean my project file. Okay. So this is how the scene looks like. I mean, this is the default level, which is something which I found in. It was pre-made before itself, so this is something which I found in Unreal. But this is not the one which I used. So I created a new level sequence. So my level sequence was basically. Uh, Let me find it out. Uh, so I have to load the new one. Just give me a minute. So yeah, I saved it as a new one. This is how my actual scene looks like in the. So the other one which you saw was basically a old one. I mean, it was basically a pre-made one. So yeah, this is how my overall scene looks like. So yeah, yeah, this is how the scene looks like overall. And yeah, so if you want to see what looks like behind, this is how it looks like. So what I did was basically I had a lot of assets in this one. Um, these are the assets which these are the assets which was there, which I found from the pack. So basically, the assets which I used was let me actually show you what I do. So I created a new level. That's what exactly I did. Uh, yeah. So I'm just gonna name it give it as the default name, New World One. So this is where we're gonna do all of our things. So in this one, right now we don't have anything. Like we don't have the sunlight. It usually comes up with the sunlight and stuff, but right now it doesn't have. So what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna add environment level mixer, environment light mixer. So what we have to do is like we have to click on these stuff, so it automatically casts. things that we need. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in some assets. So I'm not gonna create the exact one, but I'm gonna show you how I created this, how I created the other asset. So what I did was basically, so yeah, so based on the concept art, which is, I'm just gonna pull up my concept art right now. So there's so many files right now. Uh, yeah, okay. So this was my concept art. So I'm gonna work based on this. This, so what I'm planning to do is first right now, I'm gonna close this one and yeah, I'm gonna take this mesh and I'm gonna first what I have to do is basically create a ground. So I have to find something which has a ground. I mean, which can be called as a ground. So this is a ground actually. So we can pull that up, and since it's this small, I'm not gonna rescale it because rescaling this would be uh, wouldn't be, because the thing is that when we rescale, right, this is what's gonna happen. Like the rocks and stuff is gonna be really big. Uh, Actually, you know what? Let's keep this way. But it's gonna look like a terrain. It just doesn't look good. It is this is not how usually a ground looks like. Right? So here, so this is like a terrain. So yeah, I don't think it matches with our thing. So we are trying to go with realism. So what I did was basically first I thought of doing it like like making copies, offsetting it out. Uh, but that was like a tedious process, and also it was really, I mean, it was so much work as well. So, uh, so I came up with another plan. I found out another gigantic rock thing. So this was the one. Okay, this was the terrain which I used. So what I did was basically I rotated it, made it like flat, and then I went into this one. Then I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna control Z. Yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, con rescale the size of it, like in x-axis, instead of like using the other two axes. Just rescaled it, made it flat, made sure that it was flat instead of like. So yeah, here you go. This is how it looks like. So yeah, see, this is how I made the terrain at start. Not this much, I think. Yeah, here you go. This is how it looks like right now. Then what I did was basically made it zero it out. I made, I mean, I zeroed this out so that it's actually on the grid instead of, yeah, just, okay. This one also, these ones as well. We'll just make it on the grid as well. So, so zero, zero, zero. Okay, so zero, zero, zero. So, and yeah, so I mean, when I tried to zero this out, I think it was like the pivot point of this object was actually somewhere below, and yeah, so what I did now was after doing that, I duplicated it, so it can be like a big round. So yeah, I duplicated it, one, two, yeah, so made it like a big terrain. So after that, what I did was like I pulled up some assets. So the assets which I pulled up was basically um, yeah, these were some of the assets. I'm not gonna show it, like I'm not gonna build the entire screen, right, I mean entire scene right now, because it took a while for me to, like, it was around like 1.5 hours, almost 1.5 hours, 2 hours, because create that entire scene. Uh, yeah. So I pulled up these kinds of assets, like small assets, and then I pulled up this thing. This was basically the stairs, and then what I did was like I created a duplicate of this. So like this, and then I positioned it right, so it looks like it looks seamless, and then um, yeah, I place a chest on top of this. So we need something that creates a story. So this looks like this could create a story because this could give like a haunted. I mean, it could give like a purpose to what I'm trying to build. So yeah, so yeah, this was something which I did. Then uh, then I created like an arch. So I mean, the arch was like this before. So what I did was like I offset. I mean, like I pulled this up. Then I use these kinds of assets to to make like a pillar kind of thing. So yeah, that's how I made this arch, the arch. And then what I did was like I did the same thing for this one as well, and copy this and then finish that. And then what I did was like, then after that, I found these cool assets, which is basically this kind of like device breaking something. I don't know, this wheel. I mean, I love this wheel. So what I did is like I offset it, making made it look like it was sinking. And then yeah, and then after that, what I did was like I used these kinds of you know cage kind of thing. And then my main purpose when I was creating this was basically to create to make this like abandoned and then a ruined kind of thing. And I felt like and then after that yeah, and I used these kinds of assets uh, to create like a pillar kind of thing as well. So I actually offset, I mean, positioned it in a different way so that people don't see like this thing was there. And I mean, like, not exactly. I didn't use it exactly. Sorry, I lied. But yeah, this was the asset which I used it. So then I positioned it like in a different way. So I feel like the sun is not the way. I mean, anyway, we're gonna change it. We've changed the position of the sun as well. So yeah, I feel this is maybe this one as well. And then just gonna pull this down. This one, this one, this one. I think it was not in the correct position. So yeah, I just made it correct. So, yeah. Oh wait, it wasn't. It was on the grid. I think it was this one. It was off this thing. So never mind. What we're gonna do is like we're just gonna bring it under it. So and just pull it up. That's it. So it creates like a seamless thing. And then after that, I felt like we missing. Uh, I did the same thing for this as well. Like I duplicated it and then created this thing as well, and then made it closer. And yeah, this was pretty much it. And then what I did was basically I wanted a tree. Yeah, I wanted a tree. You know what I did was basically I went into this one and uh, went into oh yeah, I went into cook the Fab Silverbridge. My bad, it was just lost. Sorry. Uh, yeah. Then I went into this one. So then I found trees. By the way, these all assets which I used was basically 3D scanned ones. So these assets are not something which was made by someone. So yeah, these are 3D scan assets. Uh, yeah, you can use this as well. You can find these kinds of assets in from Fab as well if you're using it Unreal. So yeah, so in trees I found so yeah, I typed out trees and then dead trees to make it specific. And let's see what it comes up with. And make sure that everything is free here instead of like, because or else they have, since it's like the new fab, right? It's gonna be different. So yeah, I mean, new fabs are more expensive. I mean, enough doesn't have free assets. Before Quixel Bridge had, but yeah, but right now they start making paid, so yeah, that's a problem. But for now, what we're gonna do is like, we're gonna find an tree thing. So yeah, let's find a tree. Uh, let's find a dead tree actually. Let's do, a decent one, decent looking one. Even though it's low, just it's fine if it's low poly because we're gonna keep quite afar. So yeah, let's see a dead tree. Oh my god. For now, just we're gonna take this one. This looks fine as well. So let's take this one. Let me find if I have like the tree which I used before. Uh, let's see if I have any tree. Texture, easy fab. I mean, there was a particular tree which I downloaded, but I can't see it. Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, here you go. This was the tree. So I mean, it appeared like tiny when I downloaded it. So what I did was basically scaled it up. Just made it like massive. This was something which I did. I mean, yeah, sometimes some assets in Fab are usually like off scale. So yeah, just make sure you scale it up. Then yeah, then yeah. So this is how I made the assets. Then what I did was basically like, I was so lazy to create another pillar. I mean, like add another pillar. So what I did was basically like, I uh, made this one. Just took this one, and yeah. So what I did was basically, I yeah, I just copied this one, just pasted here. So yeah, pretty much that's it. Then, uh, since we have like two identical ones, so what I plan, you know what? Let's look for something else. Something cooler. Uh, this looks cool actually. So why don't we just put this here? Like, just put it up and then scale it. So yeah, this looks pretty sick. So yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. You know what? Let's pull this closer. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's do that. Then what we're gonna do is, uh, yeah, I think this is good enough, right? So just create like some more cages. Pull this up some more here, and then uh, by the way, these assets which I found, the trees are from Fab, so feel free to use it. It'll be, yeah. I mean, they have really cool realistic assets, so which would help you. I mean, help your project as well. So if you're creating something else as well. So yeah. By the way, when you're actually doing something, just make sure that you have a concept art or you have something in mind because if you don't, then it will be like, actually, you know what? Go crazy. You can actually. I mean, you don't need to create a concept art, but if you have something particular, make sure you actually use a concept art or something. So then what I did was basically I copied this one, yeah, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And then after that, made this like night scene. So, so yeah. So what I did was basically I went to directional light. I just went to Control L, and like it made it like night-ish. And then what I did was basically I went into directional one and then made it like bluish. Give it like a bluish tint. This looks good, pretty sick. Yeah. And then yeah, yeah. By the way, this is scalability is low. That's why it's really pretty bad. So make it cinematic if you want, but when you're working on something, just make sure that you don't you don't work on cinematic mode because that's I mean as long as you have like a high-ended PC or like like a 4060 or something like that, that's pretty good. But if you're working on like my laptop, which is 3060, that one, mm, yeah, it'll crash. So make sure when you're working anything on anything, actually keep everything. I mean, put their scalability in low, so it's like it's a safe thing. So yeah, just made my thing right now in low. I don't know why it's not showing up here, but usually it shows up. Yeah, anyway. And then what I did was basically, I duplicated this. Yeah, yeah. Then what I did was basically, just gave like a moonlight. So since it's like dark and stuff, right? You actually like make it really okay. Then go to direction light again. Make it like bluish. Then give it like a bluish tint, and then okay, then we'll just increase the thing, and then use Netflix. Just play around with this. That's what I usually do. Sometimes I just don't have any clue what I'm doing, so I just play around with stuff, the values here, and then you get like something really cool. Then okay, so sky atmosphere, and then just simply play around this. Yeah, just get something like this, and then yeah, see, just simply play around this. That's something which I do. So what I did was basically okay. So to give you an insight of what I did was basically I went to direction light, Control L. So you can Control L when you can do that. When you click on that, you can do something like this. You actually like play around with it. You can do something like this, and then you know that's what I did right now. And then yeah, and then that's pretty much it. And then so I need like a pillar here. That's what I initially planned out and this thing. And then yeah, it's basically I add pillar. And then you know what I did to create the fire? Since I mean I had like a fire particle system here. So just pull this up. Then yeah, here this is how I created the fire. I mean, if you want to create a fire, if you want to create like how to create like a particle fire system, uh, I could post it. Just let me know. Just comment up. The I will post it. For now, let's play with this, the one which is pre-made. And yeah, so here we go. So here you go. This is the one. Yeah, just rotate it so that it flows in the direction like that kind of direction. Then what I did was yeah, this is pretty much it. Then yeah, so since it doesn't give you like good lighting in this one, so what I did was basically I faked it. So how I faked this was basically I added like a light to it, like a spotlight. So spotlight gives you it would work pretty well. So I did this one, then I went here. So when you're working on something, the of main key would be like make sure that none of none of your environment has blind spots. Mine is having right now. Let me see in scalability and then just go to cinematics and like try it out and see. Yeah, you know what? Let's play around with the color lighting. Usually you should play around with this temperature, but to but for this sake, for the video sake, I'm just using it. I mean, this would work as well, but the most standard way is basically it using in temperature. So I mean, I'll just demonstrate you how to do that. So use temperature, then play around with it. That's how if you go lower, you can get like a red tone or like a warmer tone, and then go towards towards the right side, you can get more like a bluer tone, which is a colder one. Yeah. So going back, uh, so yeah, let's create this one here. There's a turned it. The key of when working with environments and stuff, what you have to do is basically test out. I mean, like, you should play around with one lighting, one light. I mean, you should play around with one light per time because, I mean, basically what I meant is basically shut down other lights and play around with one light, see how it looks like when other lights are turned off. Uh, yeah, then next one, which I did was basically this one on top. Then yeah, so I think we're good with this one. I mean, I'm not trying to recreate the exact scene, but just to give an idea of how I created it, this is how I created it. Then yeah, then you know what I felt like this whole area was like kind of like empty. So you know what I thought like I thought of like adding like some kind of trees and stuff. Maybe like not a crazy one, but low poly one that should work. So what I thought of doing was basically I found these kinds of trees here from Fab. So but yeah, this is basically small as well. So what I is bigger. Yeah. Make sure you actually make this bigger in this side, or what you can do is like you can lock this and then like make it bigger, like this. It'll increase in all axes. So yeah, and then duplicate here, that, then just offset it. That's what I meant. Then if you have like zoomed out like this, what you have to do is like press F, then you come up back into this position, then like move this here around, offset it. Just that's what I meant. Basically, offset it here and there. Offset it. So just to fill out the back areas, that's what I did. And yeah, pretty much that's pretty much it. Okay, and now what we are missing is basically a camera. So we need to first set up a camera. So just to see how it looks like in like in the camera, because that's how we're gonna show up thing. So what I did first was basically I created a level sequence. So without a level sequence, you can add a camera. I mean, you can technically you can add a camera, but I usually add a level sequence, then only I'll add a camera. That's how I was taught, and I mean that's how I like to do as well. So yeah, then what you do is position the camera, like just play around with this. I mean, you can play around this one as well, but what I usually do is like I play around this one in this one, this settings. This is more. This has more. Um, so this is the keep this. Yeah. So what we have to do right now is basically increase the directional light intensity. So I feel it's too less right now. Yeah. And source of angle. Yeah. So this is just increased it a bit, then control, then yeah. So I think this is good enough. Just play around with the colors right now. Yeah, this is good enough. Actually, no, I'll just keep it the whole way. Yeah, this is good, right? So then just get out of the camera view. Then, I just keep like a fake light. What I usually do is basically to create, to get rid of these black spots. What I usually do is just go into light, spotlights. This is not the exact thing, the method to do it, but should work for right now. Use it, play around the values. This one, then just gonna increase the radius of radius, source length, blah, blah. So we can do this just so it actually reaches to here, like gives like a full coverage of the whole scene. Then what you're gonna do is increase the intensity a bit, not so much, but just to create that thing, like the moonlight effect. You know what I mean? So let's see, let's see it again. Let's see. See, so you don't get that black shadow thing, you see that thing, like, you're just getting well lit up here. Some lights is happening here, some lights are happening there as well. Let's go to control, directional light, just play around with it, and let's reduce it actually. Just need like a blue tintish, that's it. Just created this by mistake. And yeah, so we got this. So now our main thing should be, make how to create our main thing should be like to create the depth of field. So I would say. So we need some kind of like a foreground. So we have midground and background as well. But now what we are missing is foreground. So what we should do is basically what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna bring this asset, and then just gonna bring this back to low. So, okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is basically I'm gonna bring this back asset. This asset looks cool, so I'm just gonna play around with this asset. So I'm just gonna pull this down in front of the camera. So it creates like a depth foreground thing into the scene, gives this foreground. Let's go see. I think it's too much. Yeah, this is good. I mean, let's bring it more towards the side. You know what? Let's keep it here. Yeah, this looks pretty cool, right? Yeah. And, let's make it down. A bit down. So yeah, and then what I'm going to do now is basically go to transform, and then key it out. This thing, it's not the front, and then it's oh sorry, this one axis, it's y-axis, and then I'm just gonna do this thing there. So yeah, here we go. We created. I mean, I created the scene. I mean, it's not exactly how it looks like, but yeah, somewhat, somewhat similar. So yeah, I mean, I need to give like some lights here, but what I so I'm just gonna give you how I did it. I'm just gonna show you how I did it. So I just created this one. I just pulled this flame here, and just placed it here, place it here. And then yeah, I'm just gonna bring. I just took this light just to create like just to fake it. That's what I did. Like fake it, and then what I did was basically animated it by putting this into sequencer, and yeah, simply animated the lights like flickering and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you guys. See you next time.